Hello, my name is Madi Musick and I'm an Oklahoma 4-H STEMist. This is an Ag in the Classroom lesson called Growing a Living Pantry, Growing Food Without Soil. Today we're talking about plants and everything they need to grow. Plants need water, air, and nutrients to grow. Nutrients are dissolved in water and taken up by the roots of the plant. The most important plant nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Traditionally, plants get these nutrients from the soil, but it is possible to grow plants without soil. This is helpful in circumstances when soil is not available. In urban areas where space for growing food is scarce, in areas where the soil has been depleted of nutrients, even in space, it is possible to provide all a plant's needs using one of three growing methods: hydroponics, aquaponics, or aeroponics. Hydroponics involves growing plants by floating their roots in nutrient-enhanced water. Aquaponics blends aquaculture, feeding fish in tanks, with hydroponics. With aeroponics, plants are suspended in air and their roots are misted with a nutrient-heavy solution. In all three systems, water is recirculated, so it saves water, another benefit. If you have ever placed a plant clipping in a glass of water in the hopes it would develop roots, you've practiced a form of hydroponics. The U.S. Army used hydroponic culture to grow fresh food for troops stationed on the infertile Pacific Islands during World War II. The word hydroponics comes from two Greek words, meaning working water. The word hydro in Greek means water, and ponos means labor. Hydroponic plants are grown in inert media that holds the roots in place but does not supply any nutrition. Some examples of inert growing media are clay pellets, vermiculite, coconut fiber, moss, and gravel. A perfectly balanced, pH-adjusted nutrient solution is delivered to the roots in a highly soluble form. All the nutrition comes from the nutrient solution, water and fertilizer combined. All three forms of soilless gardening conserve water and reduce the amount of space needed for growing. Plants can be planted closer together because root structures tend to grow down, not out. Because they are not competing with other plants for water and nutrients, the plants are grown inside under lights and can be grown year-round. Now that we've learned all about soilless gardening, let's build our own hydroponic garden. For this activity, you're going to need a styrofoam cooler with a bag inside to line it, 6 gallons of distilled water, 6 styrofoam cups, moss of some kind. I'm using orchid moss, a plant nutrient mix, perlite, some form of a knife that will cut into styrofoam, and of course your plants. Grab a styrofoam cup and using a pen, you're going to circle the outline of your cup. It's going to look just like this. You're going to repeat this 6 times so you have room for all of your cups. Now it's time to cut the circles out. You're not going to be cutting on the actual outline of the circle you just made, but actually 1/4 of an inch inside of your circle, just like this. Alright, now that we have our holes cut into our styrofoam lid, we're going to add the water into our bucket. You're going to want to make note of how deep your cups go when they're placed in, because you don't want your water going past your cups. So this experiment or activity calls for 6 gallons of water, but don't add more water than you need. If you fill your container before you use all 6 gallons, stop. Okay, now you're going to add your nutrients into your water. So you're going to want to make sure you read the instructions for what your particular type of plant food calls for. Mine calls for a tablespoon per gallon. I used 3 gallons of water, so I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of plant food. Now we're ready to put our lid on it and put our cups into our lid. On the bottom of each cup, you're going to add a small hole so your roots can get through. Now we're going to add our moss into the bottom of our cups. Be sure not to overfill them because you still have to put your plants inside. You're going to add your plants into your cups and put the moss around them. Top your plant off with some perlite and you're ready to go. Water seedlings as needed with nutrient mix, making sure the water level in the container is not too high. After a week to 10 days, roots from the seedlings or plant should begin entering the container. As the plants grow, pick leaves as desired, but be careful not to overharvest. For more information, visit 4h.okstate.edu or the Oklahoma Ag in the Classroom website.